This is a presentation for students entering Year 12 at Warragul Regional College in 2022. This slide details the pathways we offer at Warragul Regional College. Currently, the students who are watching this video should be studying VCE Unit 1 and 2, or you may be studying also studying a Unit 3-4 subject as part of that, or you may be studying VCE in a VET subject, or you may be studying intermediate VCAL, which would also include a VET subject. What we're talking about in this presentation is what's going to occur next year as we move into either VCE or senior VCAL. Whenever we start to plan our future pathways, it's important that we talk to the experts. The experts at Warragul Regional College are our career practitioners, Mark and Sarah. So we asked Mark and Sarah what advice they would give to our current Year 11s. Their advice was that if you're entering VCE, make sure you do some research and make sure you have the right prerequisite subjects that will enable you to apply for the university course that you want to get into. Their other advice was that it's very, very common for students to be unsure about where they're heading. And if that sounds a little bit like you, the best advice is to do a general course with a wide range of subjects that you enjoy learning about and are interested in. A reminder about how VCE works. VCE is generally completed over 2 years, although sometimes people will choose to take 3 years. Subjects are divided into units, and each unit runs for 1 semester. Unit 1 and 2 are generally studied in Year 11, and Unit 3 and 4 are studied in Year 12. Unit 3 and 4 must be taken in sequence. So this means if you were to not pass Unit 3, there is very little reason to continue and study Unit 4. There is also no external prerequisites. What this means is that if you decide that you'd like to do a subject at Year 12 that you haven't done at Year 11, that this is a possibility. You should think about when you're making that decision that you may not have the background to do as well as other students. To successfully complete their VCE, students are required to complete 16 units. 8 of these units come from Unit 3 and 4, and they must be studied in sequence, and 3 of these units must come from the English group and must include Unit 3 and 4 English. The English group is English and English literature. To pass a unit, you have to pass each of the outcomes. So most subjects will have 2 or 3 outcomes, and outcomes can be passed in a number of different ways. They can be passed by completing SACs or SATs. They can be passed by completing classwork. They can be passed by completing participating in classroom discussions or other activities. And if you do not pass an outcome, you will be given another opportunity to show that you do understand that outcome to enable you to successfully pass the subject. As students progress into Year 12, many begin to wonder about their grades or to worry about their grades and achieving the best results they can. The first thing to be very aware of is that grades do not determine whether or not you pass your VCE. This is done by you providing evidence that you have passed the outcomes, or that you have achieved a satisfactory result on each of the outcomes for the subjects you are studying. Grades do, however, indicate how well you're doing in each unit, and in Year 12, there are a couple of types of grades that are awarded. Some subjects have what are called SATs, and all subjects have SACs. The SAC scores are used to rank students from the very high achieving to the lower achieving, and then these results are moderated against external grades, and they end up being one of the grades you achieve on your VCE. A study score is awarded to each subject that you do. Study scores range from 0 to 50, and they're based on how you perform in that subject compared to other students in Victoria. The grades are determined by what is called a normal distribution curve or a bell-shaped curve. And the way this works is that 9% of all students will get a score above 40, 53% will get a score above 30, and 93% will get a score above 20. So how do you get a study score for each subject? The study score is calculated using SACs, SATs in some classes, and the external examinations. Most subjects have 50% of the study score calculated from exams and the other 50% from the work that is done at school, e.g. your SACs or SATs. Some subjects are a little bit different than this. For instance, all of the maths subjects have 2 exams, and these make up 66%, so 33 for each exam, and then the SACs are only 34% of that subject. Practical subjects often have a SAT, which is a longer term project. It could be something that you're building, e.g. in product design technology, and these are generally worth about 50% of your study scores. As previously mentioned, SAC results are statistically moderated against exam results. So therefore, it's very difficult for you to get a SAC mark and know exactly whether that is an A, B, C, D, etc. until the actual exams are done and those results are moderated. So the ATAR is another result that becomes very important for our VCE students. The ATAR is a ranking that is used to allow you to get into courses at university. Each course and each university determines a different ATAR number at which they will accept students, and that number can vary each year depending on demand. So if more students want to get into the course, then the score becomes higher. For instance, if you were to study at sports science and you were going to Deakin, and you're happy to travel to Geelong, you can get in with a score of 62. However, if you'd prefer to be based in Melbourne, e.g. Burwood, then the score is 70.25. So from that you can determine that it is more popular to study sports science at Burwood than at Geelong, even though the course is exactly the same because it's offered by the same university. Similarly, different universities will offer a very similar course. So both Vic Uni and La Trobe Bendigo also offer sports sciences, and their scores are different again. So what is the ATAR? So the ATAR, a bit like the study scores, is a ranking of your performance compared to other students in VCE across the state. It's calculated by the study score of English, your next best 3, and then 10% of up to 2 other subjects. The rankings for ATAR, the very top score is 99.95, and it can be as low as 10. So when selecting your subjects for Year 12, there are a few things to consider. So firstly, again, you must have a English from the English group, so either English or literature. Or if you studied English at Year 11 level, then you'd be advised to continue doing English at Year 12 level. If you studied literature at Year 11, then you can choose which one you would prefer to do, either English or continuing on in Lit. Most students will study 4 other subjects, and most will do this by choosing to drop one or not continuing one that they did in Year 11. However, some students may choose to pick up some new subjects, but as mentioned before, this can be a bit of a disadvantage because everybody else, or the vast majority of other people studying this subject, will have already been studying it for 12 months and they'll have a lot more background. You want to double check your prerequisites. So if you have a clear idea about what you would like to be doing in 2023, and that involves university, make sure you check what the subject requirements are for the subject that for the course you'd like to be studying in 2023. If you are studying a VET certificate, then those VET certificates also count towards your VCE, and some of them are also scored, so it can add, like any other subject, will add to your ATAR. So a little bit more about prerequisites. So prerequisites are the subjects that a university requires you to have studied before they will even consider offering you a position with them. The best place to look for prerequisites is via the VTAC guide and the websites on this slide. But as an example, if I wanted to study art education at Monash University, I would find that the prerequisites are a Unit 1 satisfactory completion in Maths, either general, methods or specialist, or a Unit 3-4 completion. And I would also require English, and the one you'd be focused on here is English, English score of 25. The EAL one is English as a second language, so most of our students would not qualify for that. So the alternative to studying VCE is to complete your VCAL certificate. So VCAL is applied learning, and it is a recognised senior school certificate similar to what VCE is. The differences are that it's a more hands-on approach to learning, and it focuses on vocational training. So some of the skills you need if you're looking to work in 2023 rather than going on to more study. One of the reasons that it appeals to some students is they get to do a work placement, and it also fits very nicely with doing a VET course or a TAFE course on a Wednesday. So students are at school Monday, Tuesday and Friday, and the other days they're at their VET or their work placement. If you are currently in VCE and you wish to change to VCAL, this will require a course cancelling interview with one of our careers team. VCAL is split into 5 key learning areas: literacy, numeracy, work-related skills, industrial-specific skills, which you will obtain by completing a VET certificate, and personal development. It's important to understand that in VCAL you must pass all outcomes and all units, including your VET certificate, to actually achieve your VCAL. VCAL is offered at intermediate and senior level. Most students who are looking to do Year 12 VCAL would be targeting senior. As you can see in this slide below, there's quite a few differences between doing a senior level certificate and intermediate level certificate. One of the things is that there's a high level of independence expected at a senior level. Students are meant to be able to come up with their own projects, they're meant to be able to manage their time, they're meant to be able to communicate what their projects need and how they're going. And they need to see their teacher as more a mentor and to help them achieve these goals rather than the person who's going to tell them step by step how to do things. In the VCE VCAL subjects that we're offering are listed here. There shouldn't be any real surprises. If we offered the subject at Year 11, then we have continued to offer it going into Year 12. If there's a dollar sign beside something, then there are some additional costs associated with them. So the course selection process for our 2022 Year 12s, they've already done some preliminary subject selections in week 4 during care group. And here they've also identified whether they would like some assistance with that, so those career meetings will happen as a follow-up for that. On Wednesday, the 18th of August, we'll have a virtual information evening. This has been promoted via Compass. And then EdVal will open for students to select their final subject choices on Thursday, the 19th of August. Students and parents are able to edit this up till Friday, the 10th